First of all, I want to thank the Chester County Community Foundation for allowing me to tell our story. My husband, Steve, passed away in early 2019. He was a loving father and grandfather, devoted husband, avid athlete, and youth soccer coach, and a generous community volunteer. One of Steve's passions was cycling. He regularly clocked over 100+ miles up and down the hills of Chester County. And he had also loved his more than occasional stop at the craft breweries, not necessarily while he was biking, though. His love for cycling led him to co-chair the Abramson Cancer Center's annual bike race, where he himself raised thousands of dollars of sponsorship. He spent his entire 40+ year career in cancer research, devoted at University of Pennsylvania for the most part. He was devoted to finding the cure. He not only loved doing research, but he was passionate about educating and mentoring the next generation of scientists. In 2010, he established an innovative international program at the University of Pennsylvania for training undergraduates in radiation sciences, and it was called SUPERS. I really don't know what the acronym stands for. I should know that, but I don't.
It says on that one, Summer
It does?
Undergraduate
There you
Program.
go. Summer Undergraduate Program for educating radiation scientists. There you go. I'll try to remember that. Thank you. It is still going on today. And a large percentage of the 200+ alumni of this program have gone on to careers in radiation oncology. Many of the students involved in the SUPERS program are from underrepresented minorities, which leads to a more diverse scientific workforce, hopefully leading toward breakthroughs in finding the cure. When Steve passed away in 2019 after his own courageous battle with cancer, our family knew we wanted to do something to continue his legacy. The Stephen Tuttle Fund for Oncology Research and Education was born. With the advice of Michael Carwick, who's a former, or was a chairman of the board here. Is that right? Mm-hmm. On the board?
Yes, he was.
We reached out to the Chester County Community Foundation to set up our endowment fund. They have been great in helping me set up the fund and to oversee our fundraising efforts. So thank you so much. Our first event, Bourbon, Brews, and Blues, and again, the name was because of those were the things that Steve loved, his bourbon, his brews, and he loved music. But blues also stood for colon cancer. Our first event was held in 2020. Due to the pandemic, it had to be 100% virtual. This didn't stop our amazing committee from being innovative. We set up over 20 teams nationwide, and each team collected money for the fund. It was a competition. And if anyone that knows me and the Tuttle family, they know that that is what we do. On the night of the inaugural event, the teams tuned in to the speeches and live auction and made donations to the fund. The first event raised over $100,000 with very little expense. In 2021, we decided to hold a second event to highlight some of Steve's other interests, and this is when we started Bike, Run, Cure. It was held in May, which is actually Cancer Research Month, and we had many teams and over 120 individual participants, raising over $9,000 and creating more awareness for the Stephen Tuttle Fund. That same year, last year, was our second annual Bourbon, Brews, and Blues, and we had a hybrid event. So we held it at Lock Erie Mansion as well as remotely across the country. This event raised another $120,000 for the fund. So now we come up to this year, 2022, and we repeated the Bike Run Cure. This year we had 211 participants from 19 states, and we raised $11,000. It's really fun to see how this event has grown each year. A couple weeks ago, we had our third annual Bourbon, Brews, and Blues, again at Lock Erie Mansion. And this time it was mostly in person. So this is the third year, and we've had 3 different events with completely remote, then hybrid, and now an in-person event. But we still live streamed this event across the country. 150 people attended in person, We're still reconciling our numbers, but it looks like we netted over $90,000 after all expenses. We have held other fundraisers over the last 2 years with Locust Lane Brewery, Sedona Tap House, and other local businesses. The support we have had from the community is extremely gratifying. When we first set up the Stephen Tuttle Fund, we thought it would take us 10 years to reach our goal of $500,000. In 3 years, we have raised almost $350,000. It just shows that so many people have been affected or know someone that's been affected by cancer. This year, we spread our wings and are not only supporting the Supers at Penn program, which Steve had started, but we have formed a relationship with the American Cancer Society and will be supporting their Diversity in Cancer Research internship program. This program is similar to Penn Supers, but is held at 14 universities across the USA. Steve's passion was contagious and enduring. It is extremely gratifying to continue Steve's commitment to educate the next generation of cancer scientists and researchers. Hopefully, they will find the cure that we all so desperately want. Thank you.